Hello to the side and back. Welcome to Bubbly Toki. I am your host Tokika Uzuru, also known as Toki. That's Loki but with a T, Toki. And today's video is going to be a rather long video. I can already feel it because I go into rants several different times. I can feel it. It is in my bones. But before we even get to what today's video is, today's a special video, by the way. 1. English breakfast tea. Because logic. 2. This will be the last video that I have the braids in. So, I'm just having them out of my face. 3. I did a new look today with more blue tones. Because I wanted to. I think it looks good. My eyes look a bit dramatic. But that's kind of how I like my makeup, to be honest. And now, to the actual video. Today is, this video right here is the first video in Toki's exposés, where I go ahead and do research and then show you my and then talk to you about the research that I've done on a specific corporation, organization, association, or company. Today it's going to be more of an organization, but it's also one of the it's something that I really care about. I'm crossing my arms for absolutely no reason. It's something that I really care about, mainly because, again, this is a personal thing to me. So, without further ado, let's just get started because, again, as I said, this is going to be a rather long video and ranting over. Although, ranting about that over. I have 3 different journals open right now because 1, 2, 3. I write in different journals for different things, apparently. So, the company that I'm going to be talking about specifically in this video is Prager University, also known as PragerU, who was founded or created by none other than Dennis Prager. Why am I talking about this, you might be asking? What is Prager University or PragerU, you might be asking? I'll be answering those questions now. First of all, what is PragerU? It's a non-profit organization, although they do end up getting money from donations, specifically some sort of oil company, according to the research that I've done. But yeah, they take donations. Is it an actual university? According to Google, no. According to Google's definition, no. No, it is not. And why are you talking about this? Or how did you hear about this specific organization? Well, as a person that likes to go ahead and educate themselves on random things, I kid you not, I ended up on a rather serious part of YouTube where they go ahead and discuss and debate religious topics or political topics. That's exactly some of the things that I do in my free time, folks. This research was also something I did in my free time, so if that doesn't tell you the type of fun person I am, I don't know what will, honestly. When I get to actually editing my videos, I'll probably edit me sipping on a tea out for most of it, unless it's like necessary for a point. But I originally heard about them through their 5-minute skippable ads. Specifically, this one that said that there was a war on Christmas. Hence why I decided to do it around this time. Where it was none other than Dennis Prager basically complaining about the fact that people say Happy Holidays instead of Merry Christmas to him. And tries to make it seem like it's the most logical thing to go ahead and say Merry Christmas. Although some people don't celebrate Christmas, and that was the one thing that I would like to go ahead and point out. Some people don't want to hear something as like Merry Christmas. Or, more to the point, there are more holidays in a holiday season than just Christmas. And that was the main thing that I wanted to go ahead and point out about that. But that, again, that's mainly a religious issue, and that's not what I want to go ahead and point out, because religion is based on beliefs and opinions, and I don't want to go ahead and open that can of worms, not on this channel just yet. But that's exactly how I ended up hearing about PragerU, and after that I kept on getting their frickin' ads on videos until I decided to go ahead and turn off targeted ads. Thanks, YouTube, for not telling me that I could have done that. And now I don't get their ads anymore. I could have done that long time ago, and I'm sick and tired of not knowing that I could have done that long time ago. There's something that is trying to get into my eye. There we go. So, what am I going to be talking about in this video? Whether you... Prager University is based off of more conservative values. They value the power of America's citizens and religious beliefs. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and read this word for word out of this journal right here, because that's exactly where I wrote it, as soon as I can find where I put it. I'm not supposed to be going that way. It's over here. Hold on. I am talking because... Oh, wait. Okay. Oh, wait. Here we go. Prager University is a non-profit organization whose mission is to change people's opinions or perspectives on topics such as politics, American history, and religion in/through 5-minute videos. They're mainly targeting the younger generation or younger audiences. So FTC, you might want to go ahead and get on that. They're making money off of that, dude. Their vision, however, is to make America great again, MAGA, by convincing young adults to have conservative values based on the Judeo-Christian worldview and win the quote-unquote war on ideas using short, informative videos that present clear, concise, logical, and fact-based reasoning on issues facing America today. Again, I read that word for word because I wrote it word for word. And again, I'm not going to get on the fact that more conservative values is right or wrong. That's not what I want to go ahead and point out. But these are some of the fundamental issues that I found while going through that channel. Yes, they have a channel, by the way. I will be linking some things in the cards, I think, that way. If I remember which side it's supposed to be on. It's supposed to be over there, I think. now I'm going to continue to do this. Wherever the information cards end up popping up, that's exactly where you will find the playlist of the videos I used for research and the videos that I speak about in this video, if you want to go ahead and take a look at that. Also, a lot of the things that I get my information from, if it's not from the videos that will be linked in the cards, it will be down in the description box, because this is one of the things that I will point out. Wait, where am I? Here are some of the fundamental issues that, regardless on which side you fall on, it's an issue. It's a problem. And I would like for them to go ahead and fix it. Number one, you want to show the world that the conservative values aren't as bad as they seem through informative videos that present clear, concise, logical, and fact-based reasoning. But where are your sources? Please cite your sources. You will hear me say this several times. So one of the issues that I was talking about, outside of them not citing their sources, was that again, I said this earlier, it's not an actual university or a college. It's a non-profit organization that takes donations. So that's false advertisement. I thought it was an actual university. I thought it was a college. In fact, I was talking to one of my friends earlier about this, and even they thought it was a college. And I'm like, nah, it's not. The second one is that they make generalizations. And this is why I did the video I did last week. It's still classified as last week, but okay. Vocal minority, which I talked about in the last video, is not the entire group. Which is one of the points, again, last video, cards. They take what they see in the vocal minority and say that's the entire group. That is literally all that I hear in each and every one of those videos that I've watched. And as I go through a different journal, because again, I did so much research, but I did it in separate videos. One of the videos that I can use as an example, although there are several of them that you can go ahead and look at on that channel, is in their video, does free speech offend you? And I talked about free speech in the last video. So the consensus of that video is that free speech tends to offend liberals if it doesn't agree with what they believe in or think is right. When actuality, free speech, for one, is just, you can say whatever you feel about the government, and the government can't legally do anything as like punishment. The government can't legally punish you for it. However, and again, I'm reading this word for word, you don't have an absolute right to say whatever you want, wherever you want, to whomever you want, and not suffer any consequences. The crash course video, the crash course playlist that I watched and am still going through, but will probably take a break after I finish this video, that I took that out of, will also be linked in the cards. I keep on pointing this way. I'm gonna end up feeling stupid if I'm pointing this way throughout the entire video and it's on the other side. I might have to flip the entire video. Wait, what am I doing? So, they were talking about, in that specific video, does free speech offend you? They were trying to say, I can say anything because we have freedom of speech. And like everyone else who I've heard talk about, tried to argue about the freedom of speech thing, that's only, the government can't do anything about you if you badmouth the government. That is literally what it says. They can't deny you, the government can't deny you speech on government issues. Such as, the president for right now sucks. I can say that. Because freedom of speech. But you can't go ahead and say that someone's being stupid because they don't believe in what you do, and not expect there to be consequences for doing so. Because that's not freedom of speech. That's not protected under freedom of speech. So the third one that I would like to go ahead and talk about is they try to make complex things or topics that are based on opinions or beliefs into simple and one-sided things. They try to say that they're always right in some sort of aspect. And I'm not saying that they aren't. I'm not saying that some of the things that they point out are not true. Like, again, I had to go ahead and I had to search for a better understanding of the conservative side so I can go ahead and have information on both sides and not seem like I'm taking either side. But you can't, I don't even, try to mix complex or based on opinions, things simple and one-sided. I was reading it out just to gather my thoughts. That keeps happening. The only thing I'm going to say about this, because I'm pretty sure you can watch any of their videos, specifically the ones on religion, because that's based on belief systems and opinions. And you can understand what I'm talking about when I say that. But they tried to push it off as like fact. Or like, I'm right about this entire situation here. Because I was right about this one part of the situation. Or they try to go ahead and make politics something that I had to go ahead and take about 2 weeks to do a crash course on. And even in that crash course on government and politics, they said that politics, well, 1, is forever changing, and 2, is always complex. You can't make something that's complex as politics very simple in a 5-minute video. They had to cut it down into at least like 7 to 10 minute videos. Maybe it's because there was a lot, but you know. And the last one, which I actually ended up saying as the first one, I think. This is the first one that I pointed out. Their sources are not cited. Why did it take me so long to go ahead and do all the research for these videos? Because their sources are not cited in the description box. There was this one thing that I was trying to find, and it was when they said something about how to raise your kids, and they're like, these types of parents raise good kids. And I was trying to look for exactly where the study was, and lo and behold, it was in the person that was speaking in the video. It was in their book that they wrote on it. That's not the most biased thing I have ever seen? And they claim to be a family psychologist. Of course, a person like me, I like researching psychology because I like knowing more about the human brain and how different things can affect the way you think. But one, there is no such thing called a family psychologist. There's a family therapist or a family psychiatrist, but that has to do with more of the child and how the parents interact with the child, or how the guardians interact with the child. Guardians of the Galaxy. Great, now I want to watch Marvel movies. Not sponsored, but I think that's exactly what I'm going to do after this. So, did I find out that he only did basic psychology in college? Yes. Can he call himself a family psychologist? No, because that's not an actual thing. I did tons of research on whether it was, and it is not, because psychologists have to deal with more of the research parts of psychology, and psychiatrists actually deal with the more personal type of psychology, where you go ahead and help the people out with what the psychologists find through their research. Therapists use psychologists' research to help out people. That's the best way for me to explain it. But I was trying to find out exactly where that study was that he was talking about, and it was nowhere but in his frickin' book. And it would have taken me a lot less time to go ahead and find it if they just cite their sources. I'm starting to sound like boy in a band with this issue. So, summing it all up, the 4 issues that I have is 1, false advertisement. Prager University is not an actual university or a college. It's a non-profit organization that takes donations. 2, they do generalizations on pretty much anything just to go ahead and make them sound right. They use the vocal minority and say that's exactly how the entire community is. And I talked about how bad of an issue that was in my last video. 3, they try to make complex things such as religion and politics into simple and one-sided issues. Like, there's this, like, I'm right in all of this because this is how things are. Religion is based off of beliefs and opinions, and politics is very complex and always changing. There is not one specific definition for things. And above all, everything else, they do not cite their sources. So, what I'm going to do for this video, I literally had a brain fart there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I have the videos that I watched where you can see, so there's one in which this dude's just tearing into the video that he's talking about, and that's the reason why I chose this specific date, because he uploaded his on a specific date. The date that I'm filming, not the date that I actually post this out. And then there's another one that's a bit more practical, informative instead of just funny and amusing to watch. And I think that's about it. That is about it. So, there are more things that I can do because, again, I only used a bit of the information that I researched. I still have way more things that I can get into. But because of the fact that that's based on opinions, and this is just supposed to be a no matter what side you're on, these are completely wrong type things, I would rather leave that for a bit later, where I can actually deal with that. But for now, I think it'd be best for me to go ahead and just end the video, because this was a long process. I literally spent months on and off with researching this. I had to take breaks to figure out exactly where I was going afterwards. And I just, again, my brain went blank for like 2 seconds. I'm staring outside of the window, but I'm not staring at anything in particular. And I guess it's time for the stereotypical YouTuber outro. English is very difficult for me to speak for too long. So, if you like what you see, click like, subscribe. Why was I about to do Nate's outro? Like, subscribe, comment. You know, if you want to go ahead and see me talk more about this particular organization or go deeper into some of their videos, because I've definitely done that before. Well, I haven't. I've watched them and did like analysis on them, but I didn't record myself doing so. I also did not. I did it out loud for a lot of them. That's not even the point that I'm trying to make here. If you want to go ahead and see me go into more of an analysis on certain videos that they did, go ahead. Give me this video suggestion. I might have already done it, or we'll do it in the future. And as I said, the research video wise will be in the cards. My last video will be in the cards. The websites I ended up getting the information off of, specifically about like what classifies as a university or a college, will be down there in the description. And I'm about to go probably watch Marvel movies until I have to leave. So, this has been Bubbly Toki, signing out. Woo!